I love it. Hey everybody, it's Jim Bull, Brapp Mag Media. How y'all doing tonight? We're a little bit late getting started here. We were having a show before the show. All right. Hey, before we get into it, tonight's sponsor, I got some legends here, some racing legends from AMA District 6 we're going to get to talking to here in a couple of minutes. Before we start the show, tonight's sponsor, Brown Bull Buildings, Gailton, Pennsylvania, authorized dealer for American Steel carports. Made in the USA for over 25 years, expertly installed in 4 to 6 weeks after you order. Right now, there's a 10% sale going on, so get them ordered up so we can get them in the ground before winter flies. Old man winter flies. You know who to call? Jim Bull. Call or text 717-951-5620. Thank you very much. All right, so here's the mystery, guys. Ty, Steve, Damon, you guys all there?
Yes,
How you
sir.
doing, guys?
All right. So here's the mystery. Are we really live? You know, we push the go live button and I never really know. So we're going to have a good time talking. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Right. Okay. And we got a masked rider on tonight. We'll start with our friend Steve Herman. And listen, you folks out in Brapp Magland, I know a lot of you 50 racers, 60, 85cc racers. You're like, who are these old guys? Right. Okay. Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you, they knew how to get it done, and they probably still would put a spanking on you if they got on a bike and went out on the track. So, guys, here's what I want to do. Let's go one at a time. We'll start, maybe go Steve, Ty, and Damien, all right? Okay. If you could tell us your name, your hometown, the last class that you ever raced on a motorcycle, and what year that may have been. And I know that's a lot all in one shot, but see if you can figure that all out. Stevie.
My name's Steve Herman. I'll throw in an added fact. I'm 54. I'm from Edders, Pennsylvania, small town. In the last year, man, that's a tough one, Jim. I think it might have been '09. I tried to qualify for Loretta's on a YZ 450 from Action Motorsports.
Oh wow, 2009. And what class would that have been in, Steve? Like one of the vet classes down there, I guess, or
Yeah, that was an age class. Bolin was riding it. Conlon actually came back. He was trying to qualify. I can't remember what age class it was, though.
okay. Well, we won't make you do the math. I don't want to break any blood vessels tonight, okay? Ty Wallace, who are you?
Yes, sir. Ty Wallace, 54 also. Originally from Boyertown, Pennsylvania. And now I'm up in the Pocono area, Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania.
Okay, cool.
And, I think the last time I raced was around 08, 09. I just did a couple off. Seriously, race was like 03. But
Okay.
then I got beat up pretty well and riding the vet class. So I wanted to come back and just finish it on my terms. So did a couple local races in the vet classes like 09 or something.
I think I think maybe like Sleepy Hollow, did you get hurt or something? You and Plotts were going at it one weekend pretty hard, I think.
Yeah, we were fighting for like $50 and
That works.
The difference between a burger and a steak on the way home.
Yeah, right. It's that ego thing, I think. I don't think it's about what you're eating on the way home, right?
Yep. I got tangled up and I took a beating on that one, but
yeah,
everything's.
Did he ever buy you a steak afterwards? Probably not.
Yeah, not yet. I might catch up with him yet, though.
Take him up on that someday, Damien. When you're sliding through town, there, right? Mr. Plotts, who do we got over on that? Driving the big rig, right?
That's right. What's up, guys? Damien Plotts here. I guess I'm the baby of the group. I'm only 52, you old bastards.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was from Mifflinburg, Pennsylvania. And right now I'm in New Cumberland, Pennsylvania. I'm a dad of 3 boys. And my last year was definitely in 07. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but I know I just kind of ended I was still racing. I raced a couple nationals that year.
Okay.
You know, and I never, me personally, I never had a problem to qualify, but that year I think I might have earned like 2 points, and my sons were born, and I was just like, okay, you know, the moment you get hurt, it all changes, you know.
Yeah, man.
So,
Yeah.
yep.
And I think even after that, maybe I saw you at a Miles Mountain Race or something too, and you were kicking butt and something went sideways that day too. I don't remember if that was
Oh yeah,
later.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think it was either 2015 or 16. I hadn't even owned a bike since '08, and Fred at VPE found me a 4-year-old Cowie 450, and I'm like, you know, I rode it for like 3 weeks, and I'm like, you know how we all are, guys. I'm like, well, damn, I gotta go race. I can't just freaking ride around, you know. Well, that didn't go so well.
Yeah. My wife, she asked me, says, you ever think about doing it again? It's like all the time, man. She says, you go by like Vet C or something. It's like, no, 50 plus A, right?
Dude, let me tell you something. Every single year, I follow all the social media, and I actually still, up till just a couple years ago, was helping some riders. And every year when Loretta's comes around, I won 2 Loretta's titles, and I always say, I'm going back into 50 plus. Well, that was 2 years ago. So maybe now I'll say 60 plus. I don't even
There
think
you
they have
go.
that class.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So did you guys compete against each other? It sounds like there was some racing going on between the three of you. You're close in age, right? Damien, you're a little younger.
Yep. I will tell you this, back in our day, and I'm sure I can speak for these guys, but they can chime in anytime. There was an 80 class, I believe it was like 12 to 15-year-olds. And they were a little older than me, and they had like an amateur and expert. That's all it was. And I was in the 7 to 11 class, and Ty and Stevie were kind of my heroes, because
Yeah.
I would go to Sleepy Hollow, Englishtown, Evansville, Hurricane Hills, you name it, wherever. And those guys were, you know, at the next level. And I was like, and my dad, he was constantly always pushing me to be real confident and believe in myself. And he's like, that's who we got to beat.
Those are the guys.
Yep.
And that probably never changed the whole way through, huh, guys?
Yeah, we raced each other the whole way up through. Like Damien said, he was a little bit younger than us, but you know, once it all culminates into the pro-am class, I mean, it doesn't matter what age you are then, you know what I mean? We're all together anyway, and we all live so close, raced District 6 together, and yeah, we had a good time growing up, that's for sure.
Cool,
Yep.
cool. And just so everybody knows out there watching on Facebook land, these guys, I mean, they're not just local amateur A guys, pro riders all the way. How about top numbers? Ty, did you ever earn a top 100 number?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to get 37 one year in 95.
37. Wow. I know
Yep.
you had the 85 on the bike for a while. Okay.
That was towards the end of the run. It was getting harder and harder to get some points there at the end.
Yeah, right. How about you, Damien? Best pro number.
44.
44. Okay.
Yep,
Makes sense.
that's my
Stevie?
lowest.
56 for me.
56. All right, Ty, you won that round, huh? Okay.
That's about it, because those guys are tough, man. I was at the right place at the right time.
Right place at the right time, no doubt about it. So let's go here. Ty, since you're on, how old were you when you started riding or racing, and what was your first bike?
8 years old.
Okay.
It was 81, roughly there. RM, excuse me, an RM 80.
I'm betting that none of you guys are going to say a Cobra 50, right?
Yes.
These kids are spoiled, eh? Right? So 81
Didn't even
RM
have
80, you're
60.
thinking, yeah.
Yamaha was the only one that produced a 60 at that time, and then finally about 83, Kawasaki came out with one, and it was awesome.
Yeah, KX60 ruled for years, man.
And then the whole line was all KX60s from that point on.
Yeah. How about you, Damien? First bike, started riding, racing, how old?
Yeah, I do know this. I have a little video, you know, of like one of those 8-track videos with no sound.
What's an 8-track,
Yeah,
man?
yeah, right, or whatever it was, you know, coming home from school on my 6th birthday. Yeah, PW50 when they were
Cool.
yellow back in the day.
Yeah.
So that would have been, I'm guessing 1980 or 1981. Yeah,
Early
one of
80s.
those 2 years.
Yeah, I was talking to Jeff Cernick at Dublin a couple races ago, and we had a thing going. When was the first PW80 made, or PW50 made? It was 81. So it was the first year for that
Okay, well,
bike.
I must have got the first one. Yeah, because
There
it
you
was
go.
brand new.
Yeah.
Yep.
We knew they were yellow. How about you, Steve?
My first bike was a 1971 MR50 Honda
Cool.
MR50 Elsinore.
Oh wow.
Three speed with a clutch. They're pretty rare. I actually have one that I just keep as a showpiece at the house. But that was the first bike. First race was on a 1980 CR80 at the Pennsylvania Farm Show in 1983.
Cool. Cool. Going way back. Um,
Yeah.
so how did you guys get started? Was it something your dads did, a friend did? You just lived near a track? How'd that all go down?
If you, I'll take it first since I was last.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother got me into it. He's the one that bought me the MR50. We went out to he went out to purchase me an Italia Jet first, but for whatever reason, there was a local Honda shop that was only a couple of houses down the street. So we went there and got an MR50. And then from there, my parents got involved and yeah, just it took off from there.
Bob's Indian, huh?
Bob's Indian, absolutely.
Where my first one came from. It's amazing how many guys I talked to, that's where their first bike came out of.
Yep. The Markeys are good people. There's not many of them left anymore. Robin and Terry are left. I think that's it.
I was freaking out. My dad bought a mini trail 50 and a CT 70 at the same time, right? And they had that second floor warehouse or something up
Yep.
there. I was
Yep.
freaking out as a kid. They came out of the top of that CT 70 down a ramp. I was like, yes, life has
That's
begun,
awesome.
right? Yeah. How about you, Damien? How'd you get going? Was your dad get you after it or?
Yeah, my dad raced a couple times, before I started, and I remember going to races with him. He rode an old '79 Bulltaca 250, and yeah, and there's a whole story behind that bike too, because I wished I had that bike to this day, and it sat in our basement even to the day I turned pro. That's how long it sat there, and then he gave it to somebody,
Oh
like just
man, not
gave
to
it to him,
you?
and yeah, it was a really weird situation. But anyways, but yeah, my first race was, I believe it was 84, maybe it was 83. I don't know why I can't remember the actual year, but mine was at Hanover Trailway Speedway, the
Oh,
night
cool.
race. And
Yeah.
my mom took one of their napkins. They had these printed napkins, and she wrote on it. I have to go back and look the actual date of the race. And I was on that PW50, and there was nobody else there. I had to race against all 80s. Heck, Herman, you might have been there that day.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
I'm gonna
yeah.
say it's an easy way to win your first one, right?
Yeah,
Only
I was
guy.
last place.
Yeah.
I was last place, and my dad used to tell the story. I was devastated all the way home. I was like upset, and I'm like, I quit racing.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Well, glad that didn't happen. That's for sure. Maybe these
How
other two
about
guys wish you would have, but I'm glad, anyhow.
it?
How about you, Ty?
Oh, so
How'd
I
you get
rode.
started?
Well, I had a three-wheeler first, like an
Oh,
ATC
man.
70,
Yeah.
and then my
Oh,
dad got me a XR 75, and just rode for fun. And one of his good buddies he knew forever, his son raced and invited us to a place called South Mountain that was out in Carlisle.
Yeah.
He actually crossed the drag strip twice on that track. It was on both sides of the drag strip. So we went out there just to watch, and we were hooked. That's all it took. So
One
the next
time.
time, yeah, we showed up the next time, and we got it. That's when I got the RM80. They told us, you got to get this kid a real bike.
Yeah.
That car's not going to cut it.
Yeah.
And
mm.
I
A lot
remember
of us,
getting,
a lot of us
yeah,
had them, but they weren't race bikes, that's for sure. Yeah.
yeah, a whole lot of fun. But I remember getting lapped my first race, and I must have moved over, and whoever was leading his way, and it was one of these old the KX80 with the number plates on the back fender.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
somehow I cleaned the guy out, the leader, and I ended up in between the rear tire and those number plates. I'll never forget that.
At South Mountain,
Yep.
you were probably
So
crossing the track in the rain or something, man. That was treacherous out
I
there.
I just heard him coming, must have moved the wrong way, and we collided, and I somehow got sucked up the rear tire, and that scared the crap out of me.
Wow.
I didn't want to race anymore. I was all brush burned up and everything, but a
You were
couple of weeks
quitting too,
later we
right?
tried it
Yeah.
again.
You and
Yeah,
Plotts quitters, right?
yeah, we tried it again.
Yeah, here we are. Right. Cool. So, again, we'll just go back in the same order since you're on. So you started racing when you were a kid in the 80s. how quick did you go? Did you go A or get to the pro ranks, Ty? Do you remember what that journey was like?
Well, hey, when I first started, there was just we were like 81 or something. There was just 80 amateur and 80 expert.
Right.
They didn't really develop the age brackets till a little bit later. You know, maybe 2, 3 years into my racing. So you're racing guys like in the AM class, 80 amateur class that had, you know, maybe a little bit of a mustache and
Yeah,
a
right.
beard.
15, 16 years old, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
freaking scared. You're like, you know, scared. But
And then like now there's 18 classes before you get to a big bike, right?
you said it. You said it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It took 89, I think it was first year that I had a pro license. So
Okay.
we went up through the ranks, and I actually went backwards a little bit and got on a 60 because when Cali, like I said, came out with
Right.
that, it was an awesome bike. So I was able to ride that a few years and the 80. And then we did the C 125C, 125B, 125A locally, and then just progressed from there. And 89 was the first year that I was able to do some nationals.
Okay, cool. And was the process similar? How did you get pro points back in the day to go pro, or do you just show up and go, man?
No, they looked at a background a little bit, your history of your local events and top, you know, if you placed in top 5, top 10 there. And we'd also go, they looked at our previous, you know, down at Loretta's and stuff like that on
Yeah.
80s. And we'd go to the or the
Mi-
Thanksgiving there in Florida.
Mini O's there, yeah, for the
Videos,
Winter Olympics,
they
yeah.
look at that stuff, but it's not like as critical as they look at it today. That's for sure.
Cool. How about you, Damien? How quick do you remember getting to the pro ranks?
Well, I got my pro license after I won Loretta's as an A rider in '92, and we went to Broome, Tioga. That was like a big thing, you know what I mean? If somebody you'd
Yeah,
race Loretta's and do well, you
that was
get
a
a pro
pilgrimage.
license. That's right, yeah, and that's what I did. That was my first pro race at Broome, Tioga in '92, and I'll tell you what, that was an interesting journey too, because we were so broke, so naive. We didn't know anything. And I won a stock class at Loretta's that year. And so in between Loretta's and going to Broome, my dad was all about, well, we got to make this bike faster. We're going to compete with maybe some good people, you know. And he went over to my buddy's machine shop, and I never forget it. He bought an extra cylinder head and he milled it down so it had more compression. But then somebody told him this idea to put like 2 or 3 base gaskets to raise the cylinder so it had more, you know,
Longer
and
stroke or something,
literally,
yeah.
yeah. And it was funny. And you know what's funny is the first moto of that national was either in Dirt Rider or Dirt Bike magazine, and it was a fold out cover. You know how like they used to fold out and it was
Oh
real
yeah, they
wide?
flip out,
It,
yeah.
yeah, it was a picture of the entire start, and I came around that bastard like 4th place. And yeah, I mean,
Good stuff,
but you know
man.
it was but you know it was funny is I'd never raced 30 minutes, and if I did, I mean I probably practiced for 30 minutes all the time. I was a young kid in shape, but I never raced it against people that were as fast as I was. And I was right in the top 10 till 20 minutes in, and you know, we didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I probably ate a half a watermelon before I went out to race. Well, let me tell you, 25 minutes in, that watermelon was on my freaking jersey.
I bet, man. I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a real
Yeah.
learning curve, isn't it?
Oh, it was. I did get actually 2 points in that moto, but it didn't give me a number though. But yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
How about you, Stevie? I remember had to be early 80s, early mid 80s, maybe,
Yeah, I was
or
racing
later than that.
expert. Yeah, a little bit later, late 80s. I was racing expert around the district in 88, 89. At the end of the year, same as kind of Damien's situation after Loretta's got the Pro-Am license, did Binghamton and stuff like that. And I didn't receive, I think we did all of 90, and that's when I received a 2-digit number for 91.
I mean, I remember helping you. I don't know if it was with Dunlops or air filters or something when I was working in York there. And I was
That
there from like mid 80s to mid 90s. So,
Yep, that would have been 92 when I started riding Suzuki's when I first met you down at
yep.
Skip's place.
And yeah, I've known you for a long time.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. I think
Yeah.
I remember meeting all you guys. I think maybe not. I don't know. Damien, I think, was at Evansville. Was where I met you there. And Ty, I think, was at like a Northeast Classic race. And I think you guys were both on the RRP team back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
at
Yeah. I was going to say, Jim, I don't think I met you until either the late 90s or even early
it would have
2000s.
been early 2000s, I think, till we met
Yeah.
Damien. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it would have
Yeah.
been probably
Yeah.
because
Because a
I
lot of,
took a couple years off. I wasn't around for a couple years there in that time
right.
frame.
Well, that's what I was going to say. A lot of people that, don't know me well. I broke my kneecap really bad at the end of 93. And I actually, I mean, you're 18, 19 years old, and my dad was so far in debt, and
Oh yeah,
I stopped racing, and I actually then started I was in an independent courier business, and started racing mountain bikes competitively, and because it was cheaper, back then. And in 97, at about the middle of the year, I'm like, damn it, I'm going to go race motocross again. And, but did it on my own dime. Like I just went to a friend of mine, and then actually it was cool because I went for 10 years and then made a living over those 10 years. So I felt blessed that happened, but it was weird that I kind of missed my prime years in racing, what people would
right.
say their prime years are, Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And sponsors, guys, let's face it. I mean, if we want to talk about sponsors a little bit, it was way different back then than it is today, right? I mean, like you said, you show up your first pro national coming out of Loretta's and you're on a stock bike and broke. And these kids don't realize mom and dad got their leverage to the hilt to make this all happen. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Well, you know what I find? Yeah, sorry, Steve. I was just going to say, what's really strange, I think, is they don't race anymore. Like us three, we'd never missed a weekend. We were racing everywhere, trying to get the competition, trying to get the edge. And now they dump so much money into all these training facilities, which I have nothing against it, but they don't really race until the day of the race. That's their
Yeah.
gate drop experience. That's a different world than what we grew up in.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. We'd race a race on Saturday, then we'd go to Trailway Speedway Saturday night, race under the lights. Then we'd do Sleepy Hollow or something or
On
whatever
Sunday,
was
yeah.
on Sunday. We'd hit
Yeah.
3 races,
Yeah.
Right.
You had
But
to do it, right?
yeah, for sure. It was just, a lifestyle too. It's all you knew.
Well, like you said, you're junkie, you're hooked, right? Once you
Yeah.
do it, it's like, okay, we're not going to stop this, right? Unless
Yeah.
you,
And
you
your
physically or
parents get hooked too.
yeah, they do. Say, I think
Yep.
sometimes there's more of that going on than the kids. They're playing in the pits on their bicycles, and mom and dad are over there beating each other up, right? Whatever they're doing around the pits. My kid's faster than your kid. Which great time to ask you guys, who's the fastest of you three, huh?
True.
Trying to
Well,
get some smack going if I
Ty,
can.
hey, Ty got us in the numbers, so
Yeah, but that doesn't tell the true story.
I
Yeah.
was just
hey,
going to say that.
what's your best moto finish in a national, you guys?
That was my next question, Damien. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. Hey, you guys run with this. This is your show, all right?
I think Plotts might have us on this one.
I don't know about that. What do you got, Wallace?
I got a 10th overall at Bud's.
No,
But
moto finish.
How about a moto finish?
Yeah. It was like until 14. It's with a 10th
Oh,
overall. I
got
got lucky and snuck it in there. But
Oh.
outdoor moto finish, boy, maybe a 12. Yeah.
Okay.
just-
How about you, Herman?
Do you want to count Supercross or just outdoor?
I was just thinking outdoor. I mean, you can tell us Supercross. Yeah, let's go.
Well, if we're only doing outdoor, there's no sense even delving into the Supercross. But I think I'm right with Ty there. I think I'm somewhere around 12th, maybe.
Okay. Well, then
How
I might
about-
have got you guys. Yeah.
What-
I got
what-
ninth. I got ninth, I think, 3 times.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's powerful. I was going to say you were powerful when you're in the pro ranks. You're a strong guy. Man.
There was a couple years there. You're right. When they first made that Honda 450, I really clicked with that bike, and I was in shape, and I was healthy for a couple years.
Yep.
That's a big part of it. You
Yeah.
know?
Absolutely.
So favorite
I-
bikes, guys, favorite ride you ever had? What was it? The Honda for you, Damien?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Favorite ride. I actually whole shotted Unadilla in 2000 on a Suzuki RM 250, Fred's bike, and that bike was freaking fast. I'll tell you what.
Fred built it. It's,
Yeah,
yeah, we know why.
it was fast. It was on the verge of probably blowing up all the time, but it kept going. It made it. But I'll tell you, that was a cool moto, because I didn't actually even lead because Tortelli passed me right away. But you know, it was funny is, I mean, you guys, I'd love to hear your stories too, Ty and Herman. But when I came around the third turn, I was in like second or third place, right? And right away, I don't even know who it was, Larry Ward. It was back then, Greg Albertine, Carmichael. They're putting wheels on me. And my whole idea is, well, I don't want to freaking fall and screw this up. I just let them go by me. And I went back to like 8th place by the freaking lap 2. But then it was weird. Then I got my act together, and I felt like I could have passed them all back. Yeah.
But did you?
So,
Yeah.
I didn't, but I just stayed there like, okay, this is no problem. I'll just hang out here and,
Going for a ride.
yeah.
Well, you and Ty definitely have something in common then, because Ty whole shotted Unadilla as well on that Honda 125.
Yeah. Snuck a whole shot in. Yeah. I led for about a little over half a lap, and they just surrounded me. like I got into a hornet's nest.
That's right.
But got out there. I thought, well, now what am I going to do?
Yeah, right. Here I am.
Like,
Look at me.
Rode like hell for a while, and I lasted maybe 2-3 laps in fourth. And then I think by the first advertisement, I was back. I was still on the list, and maybe fifth. Lust got me. And then I think I high-sided and pretty much embarrassed myself on that one. But it was fun for 10 or 15 minutes anyway.
Hey, don't feel bad. Lusk is still winning at Loretta, so don't sell yourself short, right?
Yeah, there are some amazing guys, those guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
How about you, Steve-O? Good story, favorite bike? What do you got?
I really didn't have any favorite bike. I mean, good, you know what I mean? Favorite story?
Yeah.
I really don't know. There's so many of them, you know what I mean? Just I enjoyed the whole time. I really didn't have a favorite of anything. Just enjoyed meeting everybody from around the country, and just, you know, being at the same place every weekend with them. I always equated it to being in a traveling circus. You know, basically, you know, we were the animals that were getting caged around to every venue around the country, and just you'd meet up there on the weekends and see the people that you know, made friends with from around the country every weekend.
It's a lifestyle, right?
Absolutely. When you're in it, yeah, it has to be, because if it's not, you know, you're losing ground. You know what I mean?
So you mentioned Supercross, Stevie, that you had some good finishes there?
No, not necessarily, but
Maybe.
but
I don't know.
I had a better Supercross finish than an outdoor finish. I got a 6th the one time in I think it was Charlotte, when they raced in the old actual, and Ty and Damien probably remember it, downtown. They raced at the old college football stadium before they moved out to, they went to the NASCAR track for a couple years in like 96. But through the early 90s, it was all in that stadium downtown.
That was a cool
Nice.
track. I took my wife there, well, we weren't even married yet. And I had friends that lived down there. We went to a racer. Bradshaw was kicking butt then, you know. And I told my wife, I said, baby, and Jeff Ward was still riding, and all those guys. I said, I used to do this. She's like, no, you didn't. It's like, yeah, I did. She thought I was BSing her, right? So we had to go home and buy a new YZ 125 and show her how it was done. Anyhow, yeah.
There you go.
That was a cool track, though. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a little smaller stadium, I think, than some of them that were on the circuit, but I always enjoyed that track there in Charlotte. Yeah.
Real peaky jumps from what I remember.
Yeah, that was the one where Henry got hurt that one year in 92. I don't know if any of you guys remember that or not, when he was with DGY.
Yeah, I don't remember that time.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we heard about some of your fun stuff, your best starts, your best finishes. Any regrets that you ever raced motorcycles?
No.
Not with me. Like I said, I've met a lot of people. I'm sure Damien and Ty, same situation. I've been lifelong friends with Ricky down in Florida. He sadly passed away last year, but I met him back in the early or late '80s and been friends with him ever since. And like Ty, been friends with him since we were knee high to a grasshopper. Same with Damien. Damien actually lives a couple miles from me now. So we
Right
run
on.
into each other. Yeah, we run into each other once in a while, but yeah, no regrets. It was a good ride, that's for sure.
Cool, cool. And you guys still ride? Never at all. Ty,
Yeah,
yeah?
once in a while.
Yeah.
Once, twice a month.
Okay.
And Stevie does too. I ran into him a couple times, and he can still ride.
He told me he doesn't ride anymore.
I don't. We went. Ty's probably referring. You probably know this fella too. Richie Zubko. His dad used to own New Egypt Motocross Park in New Jersey. He had a 50th birthday party some years back, and he rented out Binghamton. So we all went up there and had a weekend of riding. So yeah, it was good.
Yep.
It was good.
That's
How
cool.
about you, 44?
Yeah, I've got a Honda 450 and I piddle around a little bit.
Okay.
He
Yeah,
does
but
more than pedal around.
I piddle around. Believe me. Let me tell you something. Both my teenage boys had 125s, and in the last 2 weeks they both sold them both. And I'm like, maybe I'll just sell my 450. You know what I mean? It's like I kind of wanted to just go ride with them. That's all I wanted to do, But if they're not going to ride, well, I don't know.
Hey, we
And
got a bet
actually,
race. We got a big bet race coming up at Dublin Gap in October. I'd love to see all you.
yeah, people were DMing me about that, and
Is
I'm
that
like,
right?
dude, I'm like, you know what? That's where I rode last.
Is
One of my
it?
great friends I grew up with, he has a military career in the Air Force, lives in Virginia, and he's like, Plotts, I want to meet you. Let's go to Dublin Gap. I don't know, 2 months ago. So I went, and oh my gosh, dude, I couldn't go 2 straightaways without having so much arm pump. I couldn't pull the front brake.
Well, Yenser promised he's going to tone it down for you old guys. I don't know. They like to build it rough out there for sure.
Right.
You guys got a favorite track, pro track, amateur track, anything like that? Any place you really like to get after that?
Yeah. If you want me to go first,
Yeah, while you're speaking, yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan of Southwick, and I always had great results at Unadilla, so that makes you love it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
Yeah.
Ty?
There's several national tracks I like, but I got a chance to go out to Washougal once.
Oh, did
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, I just loved that place. It was awesome. So I'm gonna go
It's
with that.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
And I mean, as far as the local scene, District 6 goes, I grew up like 10 minutes from Pagoda, so they've always supported me like 100%. I'm
Yeah.
going with Pagoda.
Yeah, they changed their new track though. You been to the new track?
Yeah, I got a chance to ride it once.
Did
It's
ya?
not quite the old track, but
No, that's what I
in due
hear.
time, they might get it there.
Yeah, I haven't been there, but I hear it's not quite the same as it was for sure. So
Yeah, they got that old track was tough with the different elevation and
yeah,
everything. It was tough to beat, but
still a great group of people though. You can't
yeah.
change that, right? Yeah.
Yep.
How about
Yep.
you, Stevie?
I liked all the East Coast tracks. I really didn't have a favorite. I always seemed to kind of do semi good at High Point and like Steel City, Budds Creek, just probably because just we rode them. We didn't ride Steel City and High Point other than like they had area qualifiers there and regionals sometimes, and we'd go out there for the back when they did the amateur day for the nationals. We would go out, but just the East Coast tracks in general.
Okay, cool.
Hey, Jim, can I chime in on something?
Hey, man, yeah, sure.
So one of my favorite tracks growing up though was Aquasco in Maryland. I was wondering if you guys raced it.
I hear that a lot, Damien. I do.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
That was
really have
always the
fond
regional.
memories.
That was
Yeah.
always the regional to go to Loretta's. So 2 or 3 times I was down there. That is a cool track for sure.
Yeah.
Or it was. I don't know if it still
Was.
exists. Yep.
I
No,
don't think it does.
it hasn't for
Yeah.
years. They got something happened, man. They got closed down for some really dumb reason. I don't remember what it was. And I was never there, but so many people tell me they love that track. Stevie, you ever
Oh
race
yeah.
down there?
Yeah, we were a member of the Mama organization for a while. Used to race that track a lot, like Ty said. The regional, a lot of times when we were in the youth classes, we're down there at Aquasco. I think actually it was something with the EPA. And then
Yeah.
actually, I don't know if you guys remember Billy Schlag, but Billy Schlag was looking to buy the place. I think it was probably in the late 90s or early 2000s, maybe, or something like that. And then I think it fell through or
Yep.
whatever. So
Yeah, I knew a little bit of that also. Yeah, that's cool.
yeah,
Hey,
it really
Yeah,
Jim,
got good there. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm
no, I was just gonna
sorry.
say I think it was EPA or something really dumb happened that they I'm gonna say they got caught, but something happened,
Right.
Yeah.
You
weird.
remember you used to race under all the power lines. You'd be
Yep.
buzzing going around the track.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did any of
It's
you
funny.
guys ever race the old Wheels in the Sand track down at Ocean City?
No,
No.
I never had the opportunity to do that. No.
Okay. Okay. That was a cool spot too. All right.
Hey, hey, Jim.
Yeah.
I was gonna just take a minute to embarrass Stevie a little bit.
Sure. I'd love it.
Like Damien was a couple years younger, so he was like we talked about earlier. He was in a little bit of a younger class, and we didn't run into him until we got the national level. Then we all kind of raced together. But when we were kids, I mean, Stevie was the man. Yep. He came out one year. He was riding Hondas, I think, and he was a good rider. He liked to show off a lot, do one-handers and stuff. I remember his pop yelling at him. But he came out one year. I think we ran into him up at the farm show for the first of maybe, I don't know, 84 or 85. And he had number 7 on his KX80. And he was unbelievable. He was the man to beat in District 6 till we were pros. I chased that guy and gave it everything I had, crashed my brains out. He showed me the way. So I
Cool.
just wanted to show you a little picture of him. I don't know if you can see this, but it's a little picture of him in the middle there, number 7.
Yeah. Is
Yep.
Bell
That's
Moto
me.
3 on maybe?
Yeah, that was me, 11, Louis Harris, Tony Camioni, Scott Urban, Troy Bear, bunch of us lined up. But Stevie was definitely the guy. He had his act together, and man, what talent.
Hey, can you hold that picture up again, Ty?
I'm sorry. Yep.
Yeah. If there's any young kids watching, your mom and dad spent more money for your graphics package than these guys had on their bikes. So that's all I wanted to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I
Ain't
had
that
my
true?
number 11s were made of electrical tape, I
Right?
think.
Yeah. That worked great.
But
And I remember Steve watching you before we even met on them 80cc bikes, being at the track. I didn't know, and he was a ripper, Ty. There's no doubt about it.
yeah, he was the
Well,
man. He had his timing was unbelievable on the jumps. He'd go down to the Winter Olympics and run right with Swink and Bradshaw and all those guys, and he was awesome, man. Yep.
well,
Um,
thank you very much, Ty, for those kind words. But man, I really had you hoodwinked back then, if that's what you thought.
no, believe me, I didn't think that. I knew it. I tried everything I had to stay with you, buddy, and it was
Oh no, we had some good races. You'd beat
yeah,
me, and I would beat you, and we would.
once in a
It was.
while, but
It
you
was.
had the most of them.
No, it was all good times, man. It was
And
it was all
Damien
good.
got me in the end. He was a tough challenger in the national level too. These guys were both tough, but
Yeah,
Damien was a powerhouse, man.
yeah, that's where Damien really, in my eyes, he really started when he won those classes at Loretta's, and I remember him. He was on a Cycle News cover actually because I think he won. I don't. Did you win the whole Winter Ams that year, Damien, or did you win the first race or something like that?
Well, in 91, I was an amateur, and I won the Olympiad for the amateur, so I don't know how they call that, but that was, and it's funny. It's funny that we're on a podcast together right now. I got to tell you something. You guys probably don't even know this, but you might remember it. So I never raced the farm show building. That was just, I don't know. It's just something we never really did. I mean, I might have raced it, once or twice, but it wasn't like a yearly thing or anything. Well, when I went to Florida in the Minios in 91 and won the Olympiad for the amateurs, um, I just got my A card right away, but I came back home and, back then you weren't you weren't going to Florida all winter unless you were a pro. So I came home, went to school. Well, the farm show race in 92 came up. I'm an expert now. I'd never raced against you guys, I don't think. And that was the first race. And you both hole shotted me. And one of you took each other out over the center jump, and I won the race.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah. You were on a Yamaha, Stevie. I
64.
remember.
Number 64.
Yes,
Yep.
that's right. And because it's funny, my memories, being when I was a younger kid, my memory was you on a Cowie and Ty on a Honda. So then it started changing around, and like I said, I don't know which one of you like totally slid out and the other one ran into each other. 92 at the farm
Just
show.
Probably made
And
it slid out.
and I won the race, and it was funny. That was my very first expert race. Thanks to you guys, I got a winning memory.
You owe us another steak, Damien.
There you
That's
go.
right.
There you go, Ty. There you go.
Yeah,
Oh,
and you
man.
can buy me one too for getting you all back together, right?
Yeah.
So,
That's right.
So, and I bet, you know what? The really cool thing I think about this sport is if I ask any one of you guys what you had for breakfast like last Sunday, you probably wouldn't have a clue. But you
No
remember
clue.
the bikes you were riding, the numbers you had on 20, 30, that was 30 years ago, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
That
30,
crazy?
35, 33 years ago. Isn't it cool?
Yeah, for
Yep,
sure.
that's crazy.
Anytime I want to relate to something going on in a certain year in my life, I always remember what bike I was riding when that happened, and then that'll give me the year.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Any while we're on here, we're not going to be on a whole lot longer, guys. This is a lot of fun. And anything you want to talk about, well, I'll stay on all night if you want. But any sponsors, people that helped you, or I know Damien, you mentioned Fred Bertucci, VPE. If people are watching don't know who that is, anybody you want to really shout out that made a big impact or helped you throughout your amateur or pro racing career? Ty?
Oh, I mean, first off, my parents getting me started and putting everything into it. And later, I was lucky enough to get help from Mike Rossini and his brother Butch.
Yeah.
They had a high performance shop and an accessory shop, and they helped me since I was 13, all the
Oh,
way
cool.
till I was like 32. So, he had something he was going after, and I did. So it was like the perfect mesh, and they helped me, with everything. It's pretty much like a second family to me. So.
Nice.
And later on, my wife come in and she had my back 100% too. So I'd definitely like to thank
Yeah,
her
thank God for that, right? Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yep.
How about you, Damien?
Yeah, well, obviously my parents, you know what I mean? Until I was 18, 19 years old, I mean, the only thing I knew was motocross, and that was all to support of the parents, I had some really great people along the way help me out. This Glenn Benza family helped me in Ohio one year, and that was phenomenal. And they just wanted to be part of the sport and were willing to pay for it all. And it's where I ended up. And then Fred Vertucci, VPE, he has had my back ever since the day I met him. And I met him in 99. So, and then, he went through some hard times, and Rossini was, he was trying to develop his program more with Ty and Kevin Crine, and called me up one day, and and I went over there, and he treated me great. I was there for several years, and that was a great outfit. I really liked being at Rossini, mainly, not necessarily just because of what was going on, but it was the people I was around. I was
Right.
around Ty all the time, and Dave Kratz was around there, and Kevin Crine, just a really great bunch of people. I could have hung out with those guys every day of my life and been totally cool with it. Yeah.
By the way, I
And
did
then,
try and get Kratz on here tonight last minute. I should have thought of him earlier. I sent him a message,
yeah.
but I didn't hear back from him, so he's probably busy or
Okay.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And then later on, I mean, a lot of people helped me out. Like I'm going to just give a shout out. I don't know if they'll ever hear it, but the Honda Meyer crew in Germany, I got hooked up with them and went over there for 4 or 5 years. And, those people were just awesome. I mean, they treated me like like I was the next Carmichael, and, I was not worth that, but it was a great
right.
time. Yeah.
Cool. All right. How about you, Stevie? Who you got?
First and foremost, again, my family. Without them, none of it would have been possible. Then the Markeys as well, from the early days. From there, Gerald Stakes, with the Kawasaki's. He had a
Cumberland
Kawasaki
County. Yep.
dealership, Cumberland Kawasaki. From there, Yamaha's Craig Bear, at the time, which is Mike Bear's dad. He helped me out tremendously. And then after that, we went down to Suzuki with Skip Lieber from Skips, and you, Jim Bull, was doing the parts manager at that time. And then from there, Jeff Cernick is where the bikes that I rode last. We got through Jeff. Jeff, everybody knows Jeff. I mean, he's a super nice guy. Does he'll give you the shirt off his back. Goes over and above for anybody at the track. Just a super nice guy. Yeah, and that's about it. And then
Yeah.
obviously other sponsors along the way.
Sure.
But they were the ones for the bikes and all that.
Cool. Yeah, there's a million people that come together and make it all happen, and it's amazing how long some of them have been around. You bringing Cernick up, that guy it's amazing what he does and for the number of people he has over the years, for sure.
Absolutely.
Not taking anything away from anybody else you guys mentioned, for sure. You guys follow pro racing today? You watching the pro stuff?
Oh,
Who-
yeah.
Who's,
Absolutely. Yep.
who's your guy, Stevie? Who do you like? Or you got a couple guys you like, couple guys you don't like, or doesn't,
I really don't have a favorite there again. I guess if I had to root for anybody, it would be my buddy's kid, which would be RJ Hampshire.
Ooh, Hampshire.
Yeah, and so that would probably be the one and only.
Okay. Damien?
Yeah, I'm kind of like Stevie. I don't have a favorite. I'm not, I've never been, like a lot of guys that are into team sports, they got their team. I've never been that guy at all. I just love a great race, and
Yeah.
I'm full on into it, I mean, Deegan is a pretty interesting character. And obviously I knew his dad, raced against his dad, and you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, I think it's cool to see where he's going. And then you got all these phenoms, the Lawrences, I mean, and then these Coonan brothers. Isn't it amazing? You got people that are amazing, but then they got a freaking brother it's as good as them.
Yeah, it's wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
You see
Yeah.
the one dude, the older one, I guess they're twins, huh? It's not Sasha. What's the other one's name?
Yeah. Lucas.
He crashed really bad yesterday or last week or something.
Yeah, yeah, they've been having a little bit of a hard time,
Yeah.
But then on a local level, I was helping Bryce Shelley, and I'd really like to see him succeed. He was on that Rock River team, I believe it was
Yeah,
last year,
yeah.
and I'm not sure if he's coming back because he got injured this year. I mean, on that team. And then obviously, one of our other favorites is Brian Carroll. His son's out there and he's doing well, and
He's
so
doing
is
well.
so is Barry's kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it is cool. Bryce was just in my ice cream shop 2 days ago. Him and his dad. The whole family was here, actually.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
good
So
visiting.
I cheer for those guys.
Yeah.
I don't even really know them well. I mean, I met Bryce literally once, and now Barry's son, we used to see him all the time, but he was never really racing. He was a little kid, and then all of a sudden he's racing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
We had him on a couple of weeks ago, him and Barry, and he said he played soccer for most of his, life, and then just decided
Right.
the racing thing was going to click. Yeah. How about
That's
you,
cool.
Ty? You got a favorite or anybody you pull for, or same deal?
I'm a huge Tomac fan, but
Oh,
he's
Eli.
definitely starting to calm it down a little bit.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
Well,
Calm
yeah.
it down.
I just think his whole character and the way he goes about it is awesome. I just really like him. And this Davies kid is fun. I like him.
yeah,
I
yeah.
like his interviews, and he's talented.
I don't know if it's his culture, we're not used to, but he's just a lot of emotion. Just, yeah, I'm gonna go do better. I'm gonna win. He doesn't throw anyone under the bus. I love that. All
Yeah.
Supercross season they were trying to get him to throw Deegs under the bus, and he just
Right.
wouldn't do it, or not that I heard. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I like guys like that for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
starting to calm down in his interviews a little bit. I want him to get
a little fired up. Yeah,
get a little crazier again.
yeah.
I
Put a little
wore a-
Plotzy in there or something. Huh? Yeah,
yeah, he
Hey,
wore a cowboy hat, one of them, and
yeah. I saw that.
how about all the racers that are coming out of Australia and New Zealand? Man,
Wow.
there's a lot of them that are really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like they're
amazing.
having a tough time finding someone for our MX and Nations team. Maybe you guys should get back on the bike and go do it. I don't know. I just saw Yamaha said they're not putting the team. They're not letting anybody go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw
saw
that. Yeah, they don't. I mean, it's really expensive. I do get their argument
It's
a
a
little bit,
shame.
but
Really like to see Deegs get a
unfortunately, you know
shot.
what? It's unfortunate because everything's so expensive. You think back 30 years ago, or even go back even further, and it probably wasn't much of an expense at all. It was just you want to represent your country. Well, nowadays everything's logistics, and oh my gosh, yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, yeah. Just the
yeah.
cost of the posters they hand out. You know what I mean? So it's right. Yeah, I mean, really, it's gotta. Yeah, everything's got to be over the top these days. So, all right,
Yeah.
one more question, and I'm gonna let you guys fly unless you want to chit chat anymore.
Yep.
I ask you your favorite pro rider since you're talking, Damien. If you were going to give a pro tip, your best advice to young racers out there today, what would it be?
Hmm. One tip, huh?
One or 10, it
Um,
doesn't matter. I mean, I know I'm putting you guys on the
I
spot.
yeah, I mean, God, there's so many things going through my mind. I would probably say, um, pick one corner on your practice track or any track you go to, and after you leave that day, know in your heart that you went around that corner as fast as anybody in the world, because that will catapult your confidence and everything else to the next thing. It only takes one corner, I thought. I believe that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Corner speed. Stevie, we'll let you go next.
Well, that's almost a loaded question, Jim.
I know. I know. I got the
Well,
pros, man. I can throw loaded questions, right?
well, the only reason I say that is because just any younger guys out there that are turning pro and have aspirations to be a top pro, it's a lot of hard work and a lot of sacrifice. So know where you stand before you turn pro, because as all these guys know as well as I do, only 1% out of the 1% make it. Now, I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer or anything like that, but just know what your capabilities are and know where you stand. That's not saying you can't improve when you turn pro, but don't go after it thinking that you're going to make a living doing it. Now, don't get me wrong, some people do. Don't get me wrong, but only 1% of the 1% make it. So just keep that in the back of your mind and have a realistic goal and outlook for where you want to be.
Good advice. Good advice. Ty Wallace.
Well, actually, I have maybe two
That's
things.
okay.
Number one would somehow, some way, just keep it fun, because we all started riding the little XR or something in the backyard, and we had nothing but smiles. And
Yep.
somewhere along the way, the money that your parents or your sponsors invest in you, and all that, it becomes a lot of pressure and takes the fun out of it, and you start to not even ride for yourself. So you got to make it fun. Sometimes the parents maybe can even help with that by keeping the kid well-rounded and doing things on off days, that just get their mind off of the riding for a day or something and have some fun fishing or
Kicking the soccer
in the
ball around or
garden or something
whatever.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. And then the other thing would be, it's all about the ride home. I mean, I've had several, that's like the worst part. Sometimes the ride home, you're not only being hard on yourself, but you're catching hell halfway home. So if you give it your all, no matter whether you got last, you fell 3 times, mid pack, you won, whatever it might be, as long as you gave it your best shot that day, the ride home is going to be good because everybody, acknowledges that you gave it 100%. But when you give up, pull off or something like that, which I have, it was just a horrible ride home. So I definitely would recommend making your ride home valuable because that's the
Stuff.
thing you remember.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, look, guys, I appreciate it. And for you kids out there watching, moms and dads out there watching, sponsors, fellow racers, these guys have gone through the ranks. They've lived it all from the early days to up to present. They know what they're talking about. They know how to get it done on a bike. I appreciate you guys. I know you all, and I consider you all my friends. I appreciate you all taking the time to out of your busy schedules to come on and do this and hang out a little bit. Is there anything any you want to share? Any other stories we need to talk about? Top secrets you want to spill on your buddy here or anything like that before we go?
Hey, Jim. Yeah, I was going to say, I get asked a lot when people want to know history and, things you've been through. They want to know, a very memorable experience. And I'd like to hear from, unless you got to go, Stevie, I'd like to hear from you and Ty. And I've got, a story, a quick one that I'd like to even share that, shows you the commitment and sometimes the heartache and even things that you do to overcome, adversity, but just curious if, you or Ty, Stevie or Ty, you got like a real interesting travel experience around racing, something you went through that, is very memorable, very changed your life, maybe.
Go ahead, Ty. You can take the reins on this one.
Wow. I could sit here for about 2-3 days and tell you about travel stories with my
Right.
crazy old man.
Yeah.
But I'll give you a good one, and he's going to be involved. It's we were going to Steel City for the regional, and we were hooked up with Rossini at this point. I think I was 15. I was amateur, and he was also helping Brian Carroll. And Brian was he was riding 250 125A, and I was 250 125B, and we were heading out there for the regional. We got about to Harrisburg, and the box van cut out and stalled. It was done. So Brian was following us in his van, and I guess it was a fuel pump. So somehow we got 3 bikes in the back of Brian's little Dodge van. I think it was a Dodge. And it was Brian and his dad and his girlfriend and me and Mike took off in his van and went out there because we were just going to make it for practice the next morning. Well, we thought it was my dad and Mike's brother Butch and one other guy in the box van that we left there. And they said, just go, we'll figure it out. We figured they'd tow it back home and that'd be the end of it. Well, we get there. I went out to first practice. I borrowed Brian's 250 and went out and did I rode the 125 because I had mine, rode his 250 in the M practice. Next thing you know, the box van pulls in. And here those guys took the cap or the thing off the motor in the inside of it because you could get to the carburetor. And Mike at that time was dealing with Power Mist race fuels. So we were kind of a representative for them. And we carried, 10, 15, 5-gallon jugs of sell at the races, plus what we were using. Well, one guy was holding the funnel, one guy was driving, and the other guy was dumping the Power Mist in there, and they made it all the way to the track. And there was probably some other things going on that were quite funny too on top of the gas. So they showed up, they got there, and here we put a fuel pump in it and got it rolling, but it still didn't run. Here that race gas ate all the carburetor up, all the gaskets and O-rings and everything. So my dad had to rebuild that during the weekend, but that was a cool story.
That is.
I could just imagine Butch dumping gas in the carburetor with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
Well, it was probably more than a cigarette too.
Oh no!
Wait a minute.
They probably all had left-handers in there.
Oh my gosh.
Good stuff.
What a
That's
crew,
awesome.
man! They made it happen. That's
Oh,
Whatever it
great.
takes, right?
Yeah, whatever it takes.
Yeah,
Stevie,
absolutely.
you got
I know.
anything come to mind?
Yeah, I mean, do you want to go, Steve, or you want me to tell mine quick?
Go ahead, Damien. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is a little story about travel woes, and I've got one exactly like you, Ty. Yeah, my dad and I pouring gas in a carburetor. Yeah, but anyways, so think about the trajectory of your careers. You know, we all probably from the first year we went to Loretta's as young teenagers, or even before we were teenagers, we wanted to win Loretta's. That was our goal. And we, my family went ever since I was 11 years old. And then when I turned, I was 17, 92, I won Loretta's. But anyways, long story short, I turned expert, and my first pro year in 93 went horribly. I went to my first Supercross. So anyways, we went back to Loretta's in what they called the pro sport class. It was like one of the first years they called it that. And I'm like, I got to go down here and win and, you know, get this ball rolling again to get some good rides. Well, on the way to Loretta's in 93, I'm driving a van pulling a camper, and I pull into this rest area outside of Nashville, and I go to grab the key and the van shuts off. And I look over at my dad and I said, man, I didn't shut the van off. We get out, I pop the hood and smoke rolls out and I see flames. And I can tell you
Oh,
something, I went in like full bore. I didn't even let my dad help me because he was too damn slow. And I mean, I threw 4 bikes out of that van and everything I could. And some guy at the rest area hooked to the camper, pulled it off of the van, and that van burned up in that parking lot. Yeah, it was crazy. So thank God Tom Vitti came all the way out in his minivan, and he's like, oh, I can't pull this camper or take your dirt bike. So he took me back to Loretta's, and Davey Coombs' dad, rest in peace, senior, you know, he gave me his Dolly pickup, went back through all the van there. And everything. But anyways, we were down, you know, you think about it, you're in a tough situation, and Loretta's didn't go that great for me. I think I might have got like a 4th or something like that in both classes. Didn't win. And on the way home, this is just to think about how your parents think about you and how they want to uplift you. I fell asleep on the way home somewhere. I wake up thinking we're driving home, and we're parked at a track. I'm like, what the heck's going on? You know, I didn't know what was going on. And my dad found a race on the way home, like in Virginia, or I don't even know where we were. I can't even tell you. North Carolina, who knows? And he wanted me to go out and race just to build my confidence up, go out and win the freaking race. Isn't that funny? I always like, I remember that like it happened yesterday, even though I don't remember where the damn race was. But, you know, he did that because he saw how much it really meant to, you know, make sure you believed in yourself and you kept that confidence rolling forward, you know. So I wanted to share that because people ask me these stories all the time, you know.
That's cool.
I appreciate that, Damien, and I think that's a big part that misses from our culture a lot of times. That you know, I mean, you know what you'll do for your kids, right? And I'm not bashing any parents out there, but I know that
Right.
we talked about pressure and stuff like that earlier. One of you guys brought it up. It's just keep it fun, know what your capabilities are. But you know, the
Mm-hmm.
uplifting part with from the parent side of things. If you know, kid ain't going to win every time, you know. Give them another shot at it, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Stevie,
don't
we
know.
saving the best for last, or are you gonna step out on this one?
Oh no. I have a similar story. Obviously, when you spend as much time out on the road as motocrossers do, you're always gonna have a breakdown story. You know what I mean? But to touch on Damien as well, and Ty probably remembers this as well. We would always beeline it back from Loretta's because Sleepy Hollow would always have a race. That Sunday. We would leave Loretta's on Saturday after the awards banquet, or not awards banquet, but the awards. and my dad would drive all night, and we'd go to Sleepy Hollow for Sunday. And it was a big thing back then. Since you were coming from Tennessee, you still had your Tennessee numbers on. So everybody would wear they give you a little bib there and stuff like that. Everybody would wear their bib. Back then, a guy named, they called him Pepper Peterson. He had a whole bunch of kids that raced, Brad and Craig, and Ty knows them all, and so does Damien. And he would always announce, oh, these guys are coming from, Loretta Lynn's. Anybody that's, aspiring to go there, these guys are just coming from there. They drove all night, So it was a fun time there as well. But
That's
getting
awesome.
back to your stories, well, we had a similar one. We broke down, water pump went out. Being that, you're a motocrosser, you have water tanks or something to carry water in, something to spray water and all that. So you can only imagine what was next. We got the radiator cap off. We ran a hose from the pressure washer, hooked the other hose up to the inlet of the outlet of the water tank, and basically drove till we could get parts with the pressure washer running inside the vehicle, pumping water into the radiator just to get us to get parts.
That's awesome.
Whatever it
That's
takes,
awesome.
right? Yeah, whatever it takes. That's cool.
And to touch on that, Jim, too, I think too, as we become, I don't want to say more technologically advanced, more kids are doing things on their computer with technology and all that stuff. I think we're losing, not every kid, but a lot of kids are losing that grit. You know what I mean? They're losing that grittiness to do whatever it takes to succeed at whatever you're doing. I think we're losing that a little bit.
Right. I was thinking the same thing, and I hate to speak for some of these people and look at it that way, but that was what I meant by the racing. I just remember all the stuff that we went through, and I know some of the racers nowadays, and they're just not doing that same thing. They're kind of making sure everything is pampered and perfect all week long, and then, okay, let's go to this one really big race. You know what I mean? And but man, I think when those type of riders run into some real adversity, I don't believe they're going to be set up for it. And I kind of hope I'm wrong, but I think the same thing, or Stevie.
No, I agree with you 100%. I mean, you only grow as a person through your struggles.
Right.
If you haven't struggled, you don't have that. You know what I mean? You don't have that junkyard dog in you where, you know what I mean? You're going to do whatever it takes to succeed in whatever you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
The biggest thing I've noticed, guys, now I've been away from the races for 6 years. I moved to Potter County, right? We kind of I'm done after COVID. And Jeff Yentzer hires me to come back as being his announcer. And I'm humble, man. I'm just having the time of my life. But you know what the thing that I've noticed the most at the track? Every kid, most parents, they have some type of electric scooter or electric bicycle or hoverboard. No one's even walking, man. Like,
Right.
and it goes, they don't need that crap. All right. Buy another bike or buy some parts or whatever. So I see it too. And I pray that it's not the beginning of the end. And look, they're not bad people. I get it. It's just the way society has transformed and evolved. I guess I hate to use the evolution word, but I mean, if you can't even, if you're going to sit and play on your phone all day while your dad works on your bike, and then you're going to jump on your electric bike to go up to sign up, I mean, come on. Come on.
Hey, Jim, what's interesting is I worry that motocross is pricing a lot of people out, because I'll be honest with you, that day I went to Dublin Gap with my buddy, it was just a practice day on a Saturday. And him and I sat there and watched this whole thing, and we couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? We were like, look at how much, everybody there was like in a $100,000 unit. It seemed like I was just like unbelievable. But what's interesting is, and Stevie can relate to what I'm about ready to tell him for sure. I got my boys into BMX racing when they were both 3 years old, thinking that it would go into motocross. So we raced and raced until they did good. I mean, they won some, what they called, regional championships and whatever else. And and they had dirt bikes, and they had the ability for dad to come out and help them every moment, train them, go to a track, you name it, whatever. I wasn't going to dump money into it like some of these people were, but it didn't matter. I didn't feel, but you know what? My kids never raced. And you know why it was? Because what you just said there, I was not going to be the dad working on the bikes all day long and they're over playing video games. And what I noticed is when we were racing BMX and a little bit of dirt biking, it was turning into that. It
Yeah.
was, if dad doesn't get up and clean up everything and get it all ready to go and pack it all and then go wake them up, we
Not
didn't
happening.
go.
Yeah, it ain't
And
happening.
so what I did is I put it back on all my kids. I'm like, hey, you guys want to do this? Get some skin in the game. And
Yep.
it's interesting because it never came through. And I go, okay, well, I guess we're not going to be racers because first of all, it's too expensive. And second of all, it's too dangerous. I don't
Yeah.
want to be pushing them and then them broken up, So
Yeah.
yeah.
I know when
Yep.
my kid turned 16, that's about when we sold the first magazine, Motorcycle Racing Action. And I was getting like Bromley's was swapping me. We were getting Carson's year-old bikes, trading it for
Mhm.
advertising, and my kid was racing, right? It was a good deal. Thank you, Bromley's, and rest in peace to Danny Bromley. But
Mhm.
or when that deal went away, my son's like, "But Dad, what now?" It's like, "Well, here's the deal, son. Here's what it's going to cost us to go buy a used 125." Get a year or two old bike, right? And here's what entry fees are, how many races you want to run a year, where do you want to go? But here's the gas, the gear, all this. I tell you what, and he was working, he had a job, he was 16, making pretty good money, right? I said, I'll cut it right down the middle, I'll split it with you. I'll pay
There you
half if you pay half. Guess what we didn't do that year?
You didn't go racing.
We didn't go racing. He bought a skateboard and went out and busted his head and his ankles up that way. You know what I mean? Because the board was only $100 and the used racing budget was 8 grand, So they got to put skin in the game. And I think that if we don't teach our kids that, we're just setting them up for failure down the road, how they go on and
Yeah.
be productive, not even racers, how they going to get a job and be a dad or a mom, right, and run their family and hold a budget and all that stuff what happens when you get a flat tire in your car? You call somebody, you get your app out and say, fix my tire.
Yep.
I'm sorry, man. I could get on a roll with this crap.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
I agree. Yep.
yeah, I agree. I agree with you 100%, Jim.
And I love them all. I do. I'm not putting anybody down for it, but we need a wake up call in America for sure. Yeah.
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 Could be
Well, look,
podcast
guys,
there.
I, I love y'all, man. I appreciate you guys being on. October 3rd and 4th, Dublin Gap Vet National. We got 25 plus through 60 plus, A, B, and C. I know you guys can fit into if you got to race the women's 30 plus, they might let you in, put a thing on, and just
Oh my
messing with you.
gosh.
I'll
Go ahead, Steve.
Go ahead, Dave.
I was just going to say, I don't want to be too woke or politically non-correct here, but about 6-7 years ago, when all this women's stuff, men were turning into women in women's sports, I looked at my one son. I said, all right, I found you're in for pro motocross. You're going women racing. and he was like, Dad, what are you talking about?
My favorite part, Damien, about being the announcer at Dublin Gap?
What's that?
I have the mic and I get to say whatever I want to until the answers tell me I can't.
There you go.
And I want to thank them because I love the opportunity, man. I'm humble, man, just to be out there and hanging out with people. And a lot of these kids don't know who I am. They weren't even alive when I went away, and everyone's accepted me greatly. And you guys coming back, I haven't seen a lot of you for years. And it's
I
just
didn't
cool
even know that, Jim. That's awesome.
hanging out with everybody. Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna see y'all October 3rd and 4th at the Dublin Gap Vet Pro National, right? Hey, we can make a special class, former pro
Class.
class or something.
I'll
Wallace.
identify as a woman that day if I can ride the women's class.
How about
There you
like
go.
we all share the same bike to finish the race?
There you go. We're making a relay. Each do one lap, right?
Relay, yeah.
Yeah. Relay race. I'll bring that up to Jeff Yenser. I say, hey, man, the guys said they'll do a relay. They each get to run one lap.
Old man relay.
I couldn't
Oh,
imagine.
Wallace, hey Wallace, jump on
Yo.
the turnpike and get off there at the 83 exit and pick me up that day. And We'll go down there.
Well,
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
If you're
Hold
picking
it,
on
guys.
Damien, I'm only a couple miles from his house. You may as well stop here and grab me as
Might as well
well.
grab them too. Hey, if you guys don't
he's
race,
on
you
it,
can hang out in the
Stevie.
booth with me. All right. So
Oh, that's funny.
good
There
stuff.
you go.
Good stuff. Well, look, thanks for coming on, guys. Damien, drive safe. Ty, you working at a bike shop somewhere these days?
Yeah, yep.
You want to
Yep.
plug your
R&D
shop?
Power Sports in Palmerton.
Okay, cool. You sales up there? What do you do there, Ty?
Bob the Builder.
Bob the
I
Builder.
I
Well,
build the new stuff.
go see Ty at R&D Power Sports in Palmerton, right? They'll get you a
Thank
good deal on a new bike, right?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Stevie, what are you up to these days? What do you do for a living, or don't you? Is that top secret FBI stuff?
No, I'm kind of just retired, and I've been just my little guy just got out of high school, so I was kind of like Mr. Mom with him. My wife works from home, so my oldest son, he's getting ready to graduate out of Frostburg University in Maryland. He plays football for them. This is
Cool.
last year playing, so yeah, no, that's about it. I just every day I wake up, my feet hit the ground, man. That's a good day.
Right? For sure.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for being on. I hope to see you somewhere at the track soon. I'm going to plug a couple races here before I get off, and then we'll call it a night. All right?
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah.
You bet,
Thanks,
man.
Jim.
It was
Good
fun.
to see you, Plottsy and Herman.
Yeah, thanks, Jim, for having us all on. Thanks, Ty and Damien. It was good catching up with you guys. Damien, be careful. Have a safe trip to your destination and back home. And
Thank you, brother.
yeah, and we'll hopefully see all you guys soon, and we'll reconnect.
And if you know James
Absolutely.
Dobbs, Jimmy Dobbs said you ought to get these three on together. He got me through Bruce to get the connection to you, Stevie. So if you see Dobbs, call him Frank, because we called him Frank on the last show he was on. So
Yeah. Oh, James already sent me a DM on Facebook telling me you better get to to Dublin.
yeah, he's a good guy, man. So,
Yep.
all right, guys, we'll see you later. Speaking of Dublin Gap, everyone out there in Facebook land, our next race is this weekend, August 29th and 30th. We have the PAMX coming to town. District 6 is coming to town. It's going to be a good weekend. All the Dublin Gap regulars will be there. Come on out, ride your bike, race your bike, watch if you don't ride anymore, like some of these other guys I've just been talking to. After that, mid-September, Pro-Am, guys, 10 grand on the line. Pro-Am, if you're still listening, 10 grand for the 250, 450A classes. We got a 125 All-Star race. Barbie Jeep racing downhill. You can tumble down and hurt yourself that way. What else? Cobra Cup. They're giving away a brand new 2027 FWE Cobra 50, whatever that is. It's probably 18,000 bucks. Come out and win yourself one of those Cobras. And anyone who signs up in that class is eligible. It doesn't go to the winner of the race. So come on out, get yourself a Cobra. October 3rd and 4th. All these guys are going to be there. They just committed Vet Fest. Dublin Gap. We have unlimited AB class. We have an unlimited C class in case you aren't really old yet. Women 16 plus, women 30 plus, and then 25 through 60 A, B, and C divisions, and 65 plus. I'm almost there. So I love you guys. Thanks for watching the show. We'll see you all this weekend at Dublin Gap. Later.
Peace out.
Thank you.